easiest way to become an automotive design engineer is to become an expert in CATIA. So now, what kind of skill set is required? Okay, so when I say I talk to a lot of people. When I ask them, okay, do you know how to design software? They say, yes, sir, I know CATIA V5, I know SolidWorks. Okay, now my next question, as an interviewer, if I'm interviewing you, my next question would be, okay, so you say that you know CATIA V5. So how much would you rate yourself on a scale of 10 in CATIA V5? I need to understand like what is their expertise in CATIA. So when I ask this question, how much should they rate themselves on a scale of 10 in CATIA V5? Most of them would say, sir, I rate myself 8. I'll rate myself 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. But in reality, a person who knows the basic sketcher in CATIA V5 can rate 1 out of 10. If he knows part design including the Boolean operations, he would rate, you can rate him 3 out of 10. If a person knows surfacing, advanced CATIA surfacing and detailing, assembly design, everything, all assembly design, detailing, surface design, advanced surface design, adaptive sweep, if you can work on complex surfacing model, even after this, his rating would be 6 out of 10. So what is required to rate yourself 8 or 9 out of 10? So we need to have very good advanced knowledge on how to do CATIA remastering. So what is remastering? So when we talk about remastering, so remastering is nothing but, see, normally what happens is it's nothing but reverse engineering. So when an industry is developing a part, they will scan and benchmark part or an old part. So from the benchmark part, we will get a 3D scanned file, okay, which is called the input file or the dump model. So that the dump model would be either a step file or an IS file. So the interview tool test, yeah, if you want to become a design engineer, your tool test would be on remastering. Most of the tool tests, 90% of a tool test for freshers would be on remastering. So they give you a dump file, okay, a step file. So from the step file, you need to extract the required surface from the input model. So normally the surface wouldn't be used. So in fact, we have to recreate the surfaces using your sketches or lines. And after creating this, we have to join all the surface together. And once the joining is done, we will be defining the each edges of the sketch and we will be ordering them in specific geometric orders. So this is actually the remastering process. And finally, we will be comparing the old part with the parametric part. So end of the day, like you'll be creating a parametric model. And the parametric model should not have any deviation with the input file, and it should not have any reference to the input file. So this is where 95% of the students. So I told you, right? We have seen a lot of students say that, sir, I'm struggling to get a job. It's not that they're not getting interviews. They are getting, a lot of people are getting interviews. The only problem is they are not able to clear the interviews. The reason is most of them who says that I know CATIA V5, I know NX, they don't know what is remastering. So without knowing what is remastering, if you go to an interview and if you are getting an interview on remastering, most of the people fail. So if you're not able to complete the initial tool test, you are not selected to the next round. And that's why even a lot of people who say that I know CATIA V5, but I'm not able to clear the interview, crack the interviews, clear the interviews. This is the main reason. So now, see, these are few of the parts which you will get. Okay, so you should have worked on these kind of parts. So this is actually a sheet metal component in BAW and body in white component in automotive. So when you go for an interview, this is going to be the tool test which will be given to you. So when they give a step file like this, you should be able to recreate it. So normally, see, this is few of the models in the industry. The top one, this one is a HCL model. When you go for any in HCL, you can get this kind of models. Then TCS gives this kind of model. If you Renault listen, they give this kind of BAW component. Okay, so they'll give this component till you have to recreate it. This is one of the toughest component. Okay, it might look very easy, but this has multiple different surfaces and on different levels. So this is very tough to create. So what are the models that you see? It might look very easy to you, but each of this model will take minimum 2 hours to create for a fresher. For experienced people, it will take 1 to 1.5 hours. For fresher, it takes 2 hours. But understand, your tool test will have time limits. So when you go for a tool test as a fresher, the interviewer will give you 1 hour time. Within 1 hour time, they will expect you to finish it. Of course, they know that you won't be able to finish it. But They will try to understand where you are starting. Are you starting with this feature, or are you starting with this feature, or are you starting with the top surface? So, what approach you're taking to complete the model? What is how fast are you able to do it? What kind of commands are you using? Are you extracting the model, or are you creating lines separately? Are you using boundaries here? Are you using boundary to create the part? Are you using sweep to create the part? Are you using your extrude to create a part? So, are you filling the part? So normally we shouldn't see, there are many commands which you are not supposed to use. So when I see people, when I see candidates, these candidates are, the people who say that I know CATIA, they say that they know sweep, they know adaptive sweep, they know fill command, they know boundary command, they know extract, multiple extract, extrapolate. But there are a lot of commands like extrapolate, extract, multiple extract, boundary, fill. These are not to be used. If you are using this in the tool test, you are rejected. So understand which command is used. If you have to use the right command for the right product, that is the next step. Then how you deliver it? Is there any deviation in your part? If you are able to do the basic shape, again, if you are not able to do the fillets, if you're not able to do the fillets, it's completely fine. But if you are able to create the basic shape, then you are already through to the next round. You will be selected for the next round. So this is the initial round, tool test round. Next, apart from remastering, you might also get a tool test on close volume. So what is close volume? Normally, like if you're going for an interview on plastic drums, they'll give you a class A surface. So from your class A surface, you have to create a class B surface. So you can't just directly go and thicken the surface. You have to offset the surface, and after offsetting all the surfaces together, you have to close it. That is exactly where students or interviewer, like the candidates, will find an issue. You will be offsetting all the surfaces, but joining the surface and without any gap will be a huge issue, and that is where most of the people students fail.